All right, so thank you all for coming tonight. I'm Daisy Nelson, and this was the project my team came up with. So we had Grace Tilley, who put together this iMovie, Maya Gazinski and Megan Ziegler, who wrote our grants and helped write our grants, Ellie Weisenkamp, Ellie did the iMovie, Grace did the PowerPoint. I think I said that, but I don't know. And Kennedy Benny did the poster. So we're going to start off with our iMovie promoting our plan, or just a small overview of our plan. Our poster. This was something that we came up with to promote recycling around Oakland, and we also found a really cool video that went along with our poster. It's got a catchy tune to remind people to recycle.
Let me hear you say, here we go. Let me hear you say, here we go. Clean it up, clean it up.
So that's just kind of a little snippet, but there's a whole long song about recycling and cleaning up your junk. So, all right. Okay, so starting off our plan, we decided to just, in the research phase, find out all the current problems that Oakland was experiencing, and through several different ways, including our surveys, First Star, Grant Ziebold, we found out that only 65% of local businesses and residents in Oakland recycle. And we asked the businesses, why do you struggle to recycle? And they, many of them answered, it's because it's not convenient for them and it's not time efficient. Also, 22% of Oakland residents didn't know recycling was even available in our town. That's an average of close to 1 in every 4 people didn't even know we had recycling. And then, speaking with some community members, they said that the dump does not have bins that are marked clearly and in easy locations. So we had many people come forward and ask us to put that in part of our plan. So for our surveys, we handed out approximately 300 surveys, and again, about 23% of people said that they did not know Oakland even had a recycling program. The bins at the dump were not labeled, making it difficult to understand where to put your recycling, where to put your trash. And then it was not very accessible, meaning they had to wait in a long line to put recyclables in the same line as people waiting to do trash. So the businesses also, again, told us that they did not have the time to recycle and it was too much of a hassle. So this is just a graph showing why people in Oakland do not recycle. It's just a little eye thing so you can kind of see. And then, again, we got a lot of our information from Grant Ziebold, who was interning under the Partners in Pollution Prevention. And he observed 3 communities, and Oakland being one of them. And he noticed that nothing in our dump was labeled. And he said, coming in from the outside, this was very difficult knowing where to put your stuff. And he said, I feel like a lot more people would recycle if they knew where to put their recyclables. He recommended organizing the dump for recycling purposes, meaning labeling bins and putting them in accessible spots, even maybe in a whole different section of the dump. And then lastly, he said it was very hard for him to find out the times when the dump was open. So he said he suggests advertising signs at the facility and even around the town too. So we came up with a 3-part plan, and we are going to be focusing on the school, the dump, and then the businesses in Oakland. So for our school focus, we want to reduce the amount of trash we bring to the dump and increase the amount of recyclables that we bring to the dump. And Merle said that this was very easily doable if we were to place recycling bins at each end of the hallways, especially the second and third floor where we have a lot of high school kids, because I know a lot of high school kids drink energy drinks and a lot more stuff during school. So that's a lot of things that just go in the trash that could easily just be recycled. And then we also want to do the same with the elementary school, preferably the commons area and then the gym, where a lot of people come for basketball games and lunchtime and all those different events. And then we also want to label all the bins so people know specifically where to put different kinds of recyclables. And then under each label, include a certain list of things that could possibly go in there, because I know sometimes it's kind of intimidating, like, oh, I have this bottle, but is it plastic, is it not? So include a list of just possible examples that could go under each one. Secondly, we want to focus on the dump. And most of this came from Grant Siebold. So we want to completely eradicate and remove the current bins that are at the dump, and then we want to replace them. Then we want to order labels to place above the bins and include a list of things that can be placed in each one, kind of like the school. We would do the same labels as Garrett's team said, because that's the best option. Then we would rearrange the dump, making it more recycle friendly, which on my next slide I have a possible arrangement of the dump that would probably make it more accessible and time easy. So then lastly, we want to create a dump website that is specifically focused on the dump, and it would include certain things such as the times it's open, the recyclables they accept, what happens to recyclables after they leave the dump, and then also information on the dump's trash program, because in today's day, everyone uses the internet, and there's nothing on the internet saying what time the dump is open. And I know locals know the dump, but this is something younger people or new people to town might not know. So here's the possible arrangement of the dump. On the left, we have what it is right now, and this is straight from Grant Siebold's packet. And on the right is his new setup change, which he says he thinks would make it very more accessible and time-friendly for people. So you can just take a quick look at that. I mean, I think it's printed off somewhere. So then lastly, this was probably the biggest part of our plan. This took the most time to come up with. We want the businesses in Oakland and the school to be able to collaborate. So we found out from First Star that that 80% of their recycling does come from businesses. However, they said a lot of their businesses, it's very hard for them to bring it to First Star. So First Star goes and picks it up. Well, we thought, well, that's a great idea. I mean, it's very difficult for business owners to find time to bring their recycling to the dump. So what we decided to do is, being a very active group, I know we're involved in so much stuff, we all are always looking for ways to make money. And there's so many school organizations such as OC Club, Student Council, junior class is always raising money for prom and graduation, band, choir, National Honor Society. I mean, the list goes on and on of organizations that are looking to make money. And we think that collaborating between the businesses and the school would be a great way for the school organizations to make money and the businesses to improve Oakland and improve our recycling. So what we want is the businesses in Oakland to be able to hire a school organization, and they would just work with that one organization for the year and come up with an agreement for a cost. So say Memories has this much recycling and Food Pride has this much recycling. Well, Memories can partner with theirs and come up with an agreement. We'll pay you X amount of money to come and pick up our recycling, and it would be mixed recycling. So all they would have to do is place everything in a bin. The school organization would come pick it up, clean it, bring it to the dump, and separate it out for X amount of money that the businesses and this organization agreed to. And we thought this was a great plan because the businesses are always donating money to the school organization, so why not get something in return and make Oakland a better place. So now we have our cost-benefit analysis, and I'm not very good at math, so mine's not as good as Garrett's, but this is approximately how much it would cost for certain, the bins and the dump and parts of our other plan. And then we have our benefits. So we want to increase the capture rate of current recyclable materials in Oakland from 40 to 50%. This would save us approximately $5,000 a year. And then improvement in our dump, that wouldn't give us a necessary money amount, but it would increase a lot of different things in Oakland. So that's all. Does anyone have any questions?
I have one for you. I know this question could go to